Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to teach you how to level up your presence during online meetings. Welcome to Better Today, a place where young leaders like you find work-life inspiration. Make sure to stick around until the end of this video and watch out for today's question of the day. By this point, you have probably attended a gazillion online meetings, online conferences, and online training programs. As one of my clients so nicely put it, I'm zoomed out already. Having said that, online meetings are going to be the norm rather than the exception. As someone who gives presentations for a living, I'm going to teach you 10 of my secrets in order to level up your presence during online meetings. Number 1, stand up. I've been teaching since 2013. I was a kid in the industry then, and I needed all the help that I could get in order to sound more authoritative to my audience. One of the tricks that I learned was to stand up while you're speaking. Your voice just comes out better, it sounds more powerful, and you will feel more confident than if you were just sitting down. Project or pretend to throw your voice to your microphone or to your laptop as well. Think about your voice as energy, and you're sending it to your listeners. Number 2, look at the camera once in a while. Switch your camera on, even just at the start of meetings. Personal interaction has been lost during this time, so it's a little bit harder to connect with others. What helps me is to look at the camera once in a while. From the perspective of your audience, you're making eye contact. It helps make the meeting feel a bit more personal. Not enough people do this, but it's powerful. So go ahead and try it out in your next meeting. Number 3, guide people's eyes. When you're sharing and presenting your slides or your presentation, you have to remember that your audience is not in the same room as you. They are surrounded by 1,000 distractions, and you're probably their 20th online meeting that week. A technique I use to keep people engaged during my presentation is to literally tell them where to look. If I have several data points on a slide, I tell them to look from left to right. I would say things like, look at the right side of your slide, and so on and so forth. Because you're guiding your audience, they're less likely to go off and do something else while you're presenting. Number 4, bring your CHIKA points. CHIKA points, or small talk points, are powerful tools to make sure that you avoid those awkward few minutes during the start of a presentation or a meeting. You know what I mean? People are trickling in the call, there's an awkward silence, and no one's talking. Bring small talk material with you. What works for me is commentary on what happened in pop culture that day, or that week, or an interesting or funny piece of news about the industry. I would avoid topics on religion and politics. It's impolite and could backfire quite badly. Number 5 is to set time expectations. In my last few speaking engagements, one of my first slides would tell my audience exactly how long my presentation will be. This gives my zoomed out audience an end in sight. Remember, people have been in maybe hundreds of online meetings by now. By providing an end in sight, I've found that my audience tends to be more engaged and more attentive. In my classes, students would ask more questions and participate more often as well. If you're getting value from this video, hit that like button and subscribe. Number 6, end it earlier than scheduled. Speaking of having an end in sight, a pleasant experience that you can bring to an online meeting is by ending it a little bit earlier than expected. Every single person that I've consulted while I was researching for this video has told me they've never had more meetings in their lives than in the last 6 to 8 months. If you feel exactly the same, let me know in the comments. Your calendar probably has zero breathing space in between meetings, so you should assume that your audience is experiencing the same thing. If you're booked for an hour, try to end in 45 or 50 minutes. Be the person that gives others some meeting-less time, even if it's just for a few moments. You will end up as the person that everyone likes to have meetings with. Number 7, call people by name. Because meetings are camera off and mic off sessions lately, it can be hard to build presence with other people during online meetings. What helps is to direct your comments, your questions, and even compliments to the attendees by name. This keeps everyone awake, engaged, and more willing to listen. You've made people participants instead of just attendees. A word of warning though, there's a thin line between calling out people by name as a form of attendance checking versus genuinely engaging with them. Number 8, exaggerate your voice and your tone. The camera and the microphone take so much energy out of our presentation. Your voice, for example, always seems louder in your head than in reality. On top of that, microphone issues and internet connectivity might make your voice sound tinny, tiny, and a little bit weak. One of my biggest secrets is to exaggerate my voice and how I pronounce words during meetings. Tone involves a lot of nonverbal cues. So if there's an emotion you want to project, you have to be a bit over the top for it to come across a screen or laptop speakers. You'll feel a little bit silly, but if your camera is switched off, hey, no one can see it. Number 9, don't hold back your gestures. Speaking of exaggerating your tone and voice, you will also want to exaggerate your gestures. Hand gestures and physical movement help you deliver a presentation with more oomph. Public speakers often feel physically tired or exhausted after delivering a speech. The energy you're using for these gestures affect the energy and impact of your delivery. And this is because of how much we tend to move. This will take time and practice, but the countless camera-off meetings in your future should be a good time to practice. Number 10, use the features that are available to you. If you're like me, you've probably used 3 to 4 or more different online meeting tools. Each of them have unique features, and all of them have ways to level up how you engage and how you interact with the audience members in ways that go beyond video and just screen sharing. For example, a talk I gave for the Tourism Promotions Board of the Philippines had a Q&A tab. So during the session, I asked my audience if they wanted to ask questions live. This made them more attentive and more engaged during the session. In my online classes, we'd have breakout rooms so that group members can discuss their assignments with me, while other groups continue with their work. Showing your audience and attendees different ways to engage with each other, and maybe yourself as well as the presenter, is a great way to make your meetings a little bit better. It makes your meetings more fun and more memorable. Do you have a secret technique that levels up your presence during online meetings? I would love to learn from you, so share them in the comments below. If you found this video helpful or inspiring, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Jason, and may your online meetings be better today.